This is the BrewVerie Report. Daily news, once monthly. Here are your anchors, Paige, JT, and Mike.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the BrewVerie Report, where we deliver your daily news monthly. I'm Jericho Tortuga, and I'm here with...
I'm just Mike. And Paige is on assignment, so we have a special co-anchor today.
I am the Bubble Man.
Nice.
Everybody,
my.
I'd like you to meet, and you might have in the past, because I think we did a recording with you. Actually, well, I don't remember what it was for, but I'd like you to meet my dad.
Yes, he was
You'll
on Brew
find
Crime
out.
before.
Yeah, right. That's right. You'll find out, if you haven't already, that I come by all of this honestly.
Yes, you do. All right.
Well,
Well, we're going to
shoot.
start with some lighter news for the start of our broadcast.
Yes. We it's going to be a clucking good time.
It will be.
All right, so this is a local story, so I'm not going to say where it's from, but all you need to know is that it's from close to here. An elusive goose was rescued from fishing line in Virginia. I'm not going to go any more specific than that. This happened today,
Oh, fun.
June 22nd. So animal services officers in Virginia came to the rescue of a Canadian goose that proved unexpectedly difficult to capture despite having its legs wrapped in fishing wire.
I mean, it is our Air Force.
It is.
Let me tell you, we got great bombers over at my house. Those guys can bomb a driveway like nothing else.
Exactly.
They
With biohazard.
not only that, but they are bitter and hateful and
Yes.
spiteful. I've said this before and I'll say it again. My theory has always been that Canada has just balled up all of its unkindness and dislike and hatred, and they've molded it into the Canadian goose, and then they just send it south to attack us, and that's why Canada is just such a happy place
Yes.
some of the time. Also healthcare and stuff, but that doesn't matter. So Animal Services said in a Facebook post that officers made numerous attempts to catch a goose after noticing it was struggling to walk, but the bird turned out to be elusive. Quote, you would think this would be an easy goose to catch, but it was not. It had adapted for we aren't sure how long, and was still able to fly where it needed to go after running just a few steps. After a while, this baby knew all of our tricks and even our vehicles when we would try and sneak up on it. Officers were eventually able to catch the goose in a net and remove the fishing line wrapped around its legs. Staff worked together to cut any fishing line, checked injuries, and let it fly off towards the water. Officials wrote, we guesstimated that another week this baby would probably have lost all blood flow to both legs. Well, that's dark. That's a dark way to end. All I see is just the fact that this goose could recognize their vehicles is awesome.
Yeah.
Truly. And he probably should be an undercover agent.
Probably,
Just
yeah.
But yeah, so, the elusive Canadian goose wrapped in fishing wire.
Oh, my.
It could be a new surveillance tool for the Chinese.
Maybe.
Or the Canadians.
That's probably the Canadians, yeah.
They just want to know how much better they're doing right now.
Yeah. Well, since you did a story on the Canadian Air Force, I'll do one on the Canadian military. Plucky pig charges bear and defends her farm in encounter caught on video.
Okay, all right, Plucky the pig, huh?
Oh,
folks.
It gets better. This pig's name is amazing.
Oh,
So
boy.
Barbecue, spelled Barbie and then a Q, lives on Rough Acres, a hobby farm in Souk, British Columbia, with 3 goats, 2 sheep, many pigs, chickens, ducks, guinea fowl, 4 dogs, and 7 cats.
So on Paige's farm.
Yeah, exactly. But just in BC.
Okay. It's a cheap shot. She's not even here to defend herself.
But she's now the hero of the farm after scaring a bear away who had entered their pen.
What?
Yeah. Quote here, I was shocked, owner Crystal Walls told Global News. I mean, we have a goat and Barbie is terrified of them, she screams. She runs away, and when he comes within 2 feet of her, so I was kind of shocked that she took on a bear.
Wow.
And this is great. There's no hogwash here. The encounter was captured on security camera.
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So Walls, the owner, was on vacation in Oregon when she received a message from her house sitter that something had happened. So, quote, so my house sitter came to the fence to feed the animals, and she noticed that none of them were greeting her at the fence. She said, every time that they see you or hear the door open in the morning, they all congregate to the fence for their morning feeding, and they weren't there. And she thought that was a little suspicious. She noticed a feed bag on the ground, and when she came down, all the animals were just kind of eating from that feed bag that was on the ground.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
So yeah, the bear had breached the fence, and they're not sure how, but got within the security area. So yeah, Barbecue can be seen charging at the bear as it approaches her. The bear then goes a short distance away and sits down, raising its paws almost as if it was telling the plucky pig to calm down. But she also helped corral and protect the rest of the animals in the barn, making sure they were safe.
It's
So,
a terrible pig with 3 pointed teeth.
But yeah, the video is crazy because you can literally see the bear kind of get into the enclosure, and then the pig runs up, and the bear backs off, and then kind of starts approaching again, runs at him again. So yes, that's Barbecue scared off a friggin' black bear.
You know, for the most part, I feel like bears are just kind of wimps. I've seen them get run off by a few smaller creatures, but the concept of a pig, who admittedly pigs are extremely smart, the concept of a pig deciding to run off a bear is impressive. You know?
I have to laugh here because in this article, there's also a video about a North Vancouver cat that chased away a black bear. And then there's one about a beer breaks into a vehicle and drinks 69 cans of beer. So
a drunk bear.
Yeah, best kind.
The bear was basically the Andre the Giant of bears.
Yeah.
Just downed all the beer.
Someone has to.
Dad, any thoughts?
Well, it's kind of hard to, bears themselves, having been chased by two, are not necessarily passive.
No, they can
somewhat
definitely
aggressive.
be aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when you step into their den and you hear growls, and then you realize you stepped into a den of bears.
Yes.
This is a very specific story. Has this happened to you?
Yeah, in Alaska, the Tanana River. Right?
Oh, probably
I
a
went
grizzly
to-
bear too, then, right?
Yes, it wasn't
scary
it was,
as hell.
So I ran for about a mile, crossed over and then realized I put myself on an island, like the bear can't get to me. So I was probably more stupid. Lost my camera.
So you got
on top
chased.
of it.
So during your time in Alaska, you got chased by a grizzly bear and a moose.
And a black bear.
And a black. Okay, so listen. Here's the
You're
thing.
doing
I
it
think
wrong.
You might be doing it wrong.
Well, that's army training for you.
I thought you're supposed to
What did I
charge.
say?
Yeah,
It's
you're
a
supposed to
northern
charge.
warfare training.
You're only proving that the pig has more balls. I'm just saying.
Well,
And it was a female pig too.
Oh,
Yeah. You remember what your grandmother's pet pig was called, don't you?
Hitler.
Yeah, see?
Jesus.
They got spunked.
I will. You know what? Listen. For the time, it made sense, and I'm okay with a pig being called Hitler. He was kind of an ass. Just say it. I don't think
And he got taken out at some point too, I'm sure.
He did, and my mother never ate pig for a long time. That pig used to go up the steps of their house, and I'm talking, I barely made it up the steps of those houses. And he'd go up probably 20 steps to get to the top floor, and then root, and then that would be their cue to take him back out. He'd go out,
geez.
do his thing, come back in. So he was, well, housebroken.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Smart pig. Huh?
So what you're saying is Grandma was really, really attached to Hitler.
God.
Yeah. That's a bad way to put that, but no, she wasn't attached to Hitler, but attached to the pig Hitler. No. Well,
There's a big
that way
difference.
too, so.
Well, I mean, the big Hitler could still be Hitler.
That was a
Oh,
bad story.
man.
All right.
I've got a short one, and then I've got a longer one. And I'll do the short one real fast here. German surgeon fired after asking hospital cleaner to assist in an amputation.
Uh-oh.
Well, the German part works. There's a good tie-in to the last. Okay. Officials at a hospital in Western Germany have expressed regret after it emerged that one of their surgeons got a cleaner to assist in a toe amputation. So, the hospital's chief executive, Norbert Pfeiffer, said the surgeon wrongly decided to go ahead with a routine procedure, even though no qualified assistant was available. Now, the patient had local anesthetic, became restless. The doctor asked a nearby cleaner. I can't even see this, but I just see Ernest as the janitor, right? Ernest P. Worrell, just like, know what I mean? I just see him in the background, and I see this doctor being like, "Will you come help me here, sir?" And so the patient got restless, and he turned to this janitor to hold the man's leg and then pass surgical instruments to him. And so the paper reported, the Mainzer Allgemeine Zeitung, which is a newspaper, reported that the cleaner had absolutely no medical experience. I appreciate the fact that they had to clarify that. So the incident came to light after a hospital manager spotted the cleaner, bloody gauze pads in hand, in the operating theater. So,
I prefer the movie theater.
right? I love how they call a toe amputation called it a routine procedure. I have a problem with calling a toe amputation a routine procedure. Like, is there just one guy who they just go to? He's like the toe dude.
Well,
I
the
don't
toe
know.
dude would be a podiatrist, right? So,
Well, I mean,
Just
but
Put it in
podiatrists
a bottle
aren't
of
surgeons.
booze. You like the Yukon Territory and do the shot.
Considering how many diabetics there are, you know,
So all you need to do is you just need a bottle of moonshine and a wooden spoon to bite on, a rusty penknife, and a little bit of that moonshine to clean the penknife. Right? That's it.
Yeah,
It's routine. It's just something you do all the time.
it's wartime medicine.
Okay, so one more from me. A 62-year-old Canistus Kuhnke went in for surgery on June 1st. He probably didn't think he was going to come out as a Guinness World Record holder, but he did.
Oh, wow.
He is a retired Sri Lanka army soldier, and he's in the record books after surgeons removed what has been declared the world's largest and heaviest kidney stone.
Oh, no. That's the wrong kind of birth to give.
Ouch.
Well, it's the closest a male will ever get. So.
Yeah, true.
Very true. So here are the measurements. This growth was 5.26 inches long,
Oh,
which is bigger than his 4.6-inch kidney, and the stone weighed 1.76 pounds.
oh my God, that is awful.
It is terrible. I don't understand, but they removed the stone through an incision in his kidney's pelvis, pelvis, which is a pilolithotomy. Pilolithotomy.
Yeah.
You're the medical expert, not me, Dad.
Maybe.
So his kidney was functioning normally, but Although his liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and spleen were also normally sized, but his prostate was enlarged.
Oh,
He's still recovering, but the X-ray shows just how big it was in accordance to his body. That's how big it was.
Oh,
Can you see it? Dad, you can see it, right?
I am. Yeah, that's a good. That's not.
ugh.
So his pelvis, I would imagine, is down at the bottom here, that white piece, right?
Well, you can
Perhaps.
see his bladder, his liver,
Yeah,
his heart.
right,
You see his
right.
heart, right?
Yeah, I see that.
His kidney.
I mean,
his kidneys are down here. His kidneys are down to the right of that big white.
Well,
So that's a blow up of one of the kidneys.
right. So so it looks like that stone is over to the right,
You're
right?
covering his spleen, his pancreas.
Right. So, but the stone is over here on the right. Here is what it looked like.
Right, because here's your kidneys. Yeah. Oh man.
That looks like terrible.
Wow.
Yep.
He would have eventually ruptured his kidney capsule.
Oh, well, it was bigger than his kidney. I don't know how he was not
Yeah.
caused any pain. I don't know.
He had
Just
no
so weird.
pain.
It's just so weird.
No pain.
He came in with, despite it, his kidney was functioning normally.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't understand how
Huh.
a kidney could function normally when it's completely full with this stone.
Yeah.
I don't either. That
Oh,
just
no.
doesn't make sense to me.
He's super lucky, though, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
the previous largest kidney stone was 5.11 inches, and that was removed from somebody in India in 2004. And then the previous record holder for heaviest belonged to a Pakistani, Wazir Muhammad, whose 1.36 pound growth was taken out in 2008. I can't. Like I had kidney soreness and whatever on Monday into Tuesday, and it was just very uncomfortable, and I was fine. It was just sore, and increase the water, decrease the fat, just kind of take care of yourself. But I can't imagine having that in my body
No.
compared to just general soreness. So that's why I call that story Seriously Stoned, and now you know.
Perfect. All right. Well, I got one here too. Who thought asking the internet to name NASA's Uranus mission was a good idea? Asking the public to name things is a terrible idea. Just ask any sailor who nearly served on the good ship Boaty McBoatface, which I think it should have been that. But here we go again, albeit in a less official capacity. Perhaps they learned. After an unofficial Twitter account appealed to the internet to name a probe that will shortly explore Uranus. So the Uranus Orbiter probe is a project that NASA hopes will be launched sometime in the early 2030s. The mission would spend several years orbiting Uranus, possibly sending a probe down through its atmosphere to the surface.
Listen.
So it could tell us a lot about the makeup of the ice giant, which is why such an important mission's name should not be left to the public.
If you're clever with your wording, you can tell anybody about the makeup of their Uranus. Yeah, their anus.
So
I think it's Pluto's problem.
So there was some pretty good ones here. There was a couple abbreviations. So there's ANUS, Advanced New Uranus Space Mission. Rectum, Research Education Charging Towards Uranus Mission.
Rectum, I hardly know him.
Yeah, there was Operation Butt Plug, Pegasus, Seymour Butts, and Suppository. There's also some good deep dive, Mission Colonoscopy.
Yeah.
Abbreviation POOP, which is an acronym for Planetary Orbital Observation Probe. Probe Uranus. The prostate exam.
I've spent a decade plus studying, training, and getting ready for a space mission. My first mission is poop.
I love this. The name, I think it's Shinya Wolf. They were the inventor of the colonoscopy.
That's right. Yeah, you can tell you what year. 1945.
There we go.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
this one's great. This is the last one. Wandering Finger.
Wandering Finger. That is, you know what? If you go into a colonoscopy and that doctor's nickname is Wandering Finger, I want you to walk right back out.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't need to turn into a ventriloquist dummy.
What about Dr. Longreach? What about the rectal catheter? I think you should call it the rectal catheter.
It sounds good. It sounds good.
I
was in the hospital. I was in the hospital today, and I saw a billboard, not a billboard, but a whiteboard, and they had the doctors on call that were there. And one of the names of a pediatric doctor was Dr. Bain, and I was like, I would request somebody else because I just see him coming in going, "You think you were born in the dark? I was born in the dark. I was raised in it." I just Dr. Bain.
I mean, we were all born in the dark into the light, but
well, dark to light, dark to light, dark to light. Oh man, this story comes to us from Maryland. And it's from May 30th of this year. Maryland students prank school. Mike, did you ever participate in any school pranks?
Nope.
I didn't either. Dad, I think you have.
I'm sure it was back in the days of psychedelics, and
I'm pretty sure it involved a VW. Did it not?
Yeah, there was a time where a VW went, the shop teachers went up on the roof. That was one time.
That's right, Mike. He put a VW bug on the roof.
Yeah, it was on the roof of the school. And then, you always had the warm feces in a bag smashed on a wall locker lock.
Wait. You said poop in a bag.
Yeah.
Smashed on a wall locker lock.
In school, you put it on the lock, smash it all around it, and then tie it off.
That's terrible.
I mean, one of the best
kept
pranks,
them in school.
The University of British Columbia engineering students one year hung the body of a VW Beetle off of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Really?
Yes.
Serious?
And painted it with the Canadian flag. They got in a lot of trouble for that one, though, because it was cross-border, yada, yada.
Cross-border.
Yeah.
Well.
Messing with California, they got mad.
Prank.
So, just like you, Mike, I never really pulled any pranks because I was a nerd and a theater kid, and that's just not what I did. But this group of high school students in Fort Meade, Maryland, had fun pranking their high school last week by attempting to sell it on Zillow. The students at Meade High School listed their school on the real estate website for a measly $42,069, local news outlets reported. And I'm telling you, there was one kid that said, "Quick, put a 69 in there. It's funny." There's always that one hilarious kid. So the listing, which was eventually removed, advertised a, quote, complimentary trash-scented air freshener and water tissues. The students, so not only did they try to sell the school, but they referred to the school as a nice half-working jail and said all 15 bathrooms come with sewage issues, as well as dangerous unfinished sections that could cost you your life. The listing also promised that your neighbors are rodents and insects that will make you squeal. God.
Sounds like some schools I've heard of.
But I will say this, there are some schools and school districts that are way too uptight. Mine is one of them. Although the listing was a little insulting, Anne Arundel County Public, school spokesman. Oh, that's a sensitive topic, Mike. Oh, man. Okay. Anne Arundel County Public Schools spokesperson Bob Mosier admits he found it funny. Quote, "This is incredibly creative advertising, but we are stunned that the listers so vastly underestimated the value of this prime real estate with amazing amenities," he said in a statement to media outlets. "Potential buyers surely will be flocking to snap this deal up, right? This won't be on the market for long." Turns out seniors in the same school district previously attempted to sell another educational institution as a prank. And in spring of 2020, at the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic, students at Broadneck High School in Annapolis, Maryland, hung a, quote, "for sale" sign outside the school. I love it. It's my favorite. This is one of those pranks that is just harmless.
Yeah,
It's
these are great.
fun. I mean, who would take this seriously, right? To buy it. And I'm glad that they responded. I'm glad they responded kindly to it.
I remember there was a grad prank my year, and I forget what it was, but ended up there was a big cleanup fee, and the grads ended up having to pay out of the dry grad event fund that we had all raised.
Oh man,
we weren't happy about it.
No, jeez.
Yes,
I just don't remember pranks. I don't.
What about peanut butter on the bottom of shoes?
Who gives you enough time with their feet up to put peanut butter at the bottom of their shoe?
Gym class. In tennis shoes.
Do you apply it with your hand or with
whatever? You just applied it. You just put it on there, and then you go run it out into the court, and they looks like
get a Jiffy pack or something.
Yeah.
I was hoping that my dad would be like streaking or something typical. No,
well, there were those days too. That wasn't a prank, though.
Oh, that was just
a way of life.
That was a Friday evening.
It was.
It was an evening run in Poland, Ohio.
No. It was in Florida then.
Oh, that's right. That
explains
right
everything.
Between the Crisco sessions.
Yep.
It does explain everything, Mike.
Florida.
It really does.
Florida man. Florida man. Do.
The
All
Florida
right.
man is real.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the cheese wheel races in the UK?
Yes, but do go on.
So Nanaimo woman, Nanaimo is on Vancouver Island here in British Columbia. Nanaimo woman 19 wins UK cheese race while unconscious.
Oh, I see where this is going, and I like every little flip of it.
So a young BC woman had quite the story to tell, or at least the parts she can remember after winning a cheese wheel race in England, even after being knocked unconscious. 19-year-old Delaney Irving from Nanaimo was in Gloucestershire, I think, England, on Monday, wrapping up a 6-week trip in Europe with her friend. She was in the region to watch the annual Cooper's Hill cheese rolling race before deciding to join in the extreme race with her friend just one day before it was set to begin. So I guess for people that don't know, it's you run down this really steep hill and the person that catches the wheel wins. And it's really dangerous.
It's literally it's like 25 people. Hold on.
I don't want that.
Dad, if you've never seen this, you really should.
Yeah. So I'll keep reading and we can show you. We didn't really prepare for it at all, Irving told CTV News. Quote, all we did to prepare was my friend and I took turns jumping on our hotel bed and doing a roll as best we could. Participants in the race are tasked with chasing a 7-pound wheel of double Gloucester cheese down an extremely steep hill. The race itself has sometimes been the target of controversy due to safety concerns. Videos don't really show how steep it is, said Irving. When you're standing at the top, you have to get right to the edge to actually see the hill, she said. If you're a few steps back, you can't actually see the hill. That's how steep it is.
Yep.
So there's video showing the moment that Irving lost her footing, tumbles down the hill. She's the first one to cross the finish line, though she's limp as a rag doll after hitting her head on the ground and being knocked unconscious partway down the hill. So it wasn't even at the bottom. It was like partway down. And it took her 10 minutes to wake up.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
All right.
So the next thing the teen remembers is waking up in the medical tent with the cheese on her lap.
She had the cheese on her lap. Oh my gosh. That is terrible. And
They actually had event health responders.
yeah, they've
And
got
they
them.
didn't, no helmets or anything. God.
It's
Oh.
insane. There's like an
That's
entire
crazy.
documentary about this tradition that they do it. And I
Do
remember
they have
Well, you
watching.
actually
professional
win that
cheese?
wheel of cheese. Which is that's
Yes,
awesome.
they do have
though.
professional roller. Like they do have people who do this every single year. And
Oh my god!
boy, they just throw themselves down. It's like a Monty Python sketch that shouldn't be.
So
That's ridiculous.
it says her mother saw the video and found it a bit disturbing, and she's glad her daughter is all right. Quote, I can't believe she's okay, she said. She had a CT scan. It's clear, and she's good. I can't believe that because it looks like she shouldn't be okay.
It looks like she should be dead.
Yeah.
That looks like a series of like crushed vertebrae is what
So,
that looks like.
It says that she is the first Canadian woman to win the Coopers Hill cheese rolling race, and her victory has already made waves with local UK media, which of course it has. And it's a 7-pound wheel of cheese, estimated to be worth hundreds of dollars.
I mean, it's worth a concussion,
That's
right?
it. That's all you get. I
Yeah.
mean, your medical
And
bills would
bragging
be more
rights.
than that.
I
Oh,
lived
bragging rights,
and
yeah.
won cheese.
I lived. Yeah.
I mean, hey, cheese is expensive these days.
Yep.
Oh,
man.
Oh.
Virginia inmates that escape jail using a toothbrush get caught at a nearby IHOP.
I've heard of rock hammers before and Rita Hayworth covering the hole, but toothbrush, huh?
So, this is very close. And by that, I mean, it's not really, but it's close to home in terms of my life.
Yeah.
And this happened in Newport News, Virginia. So earlier this week, 2 inmates of the Newport News City Jail escaped from their cells using a toothbrush and a, quote, metal object. And they would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that Tutti Rudy Fresh and Fruity.
Oh, jeez.
Or the pancakes.
Bloody
So
pancakes.
Arlie Nemo and John Garza used a toothbrush and a metal object to tunnel out of jail. They tunneled out of jail.
Wait. What was the guy's last name? Was it Nemo?
Arlie, yes. So
they were finding Nemo.
Yes.
This story
They were.
sounds fishy.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a porpoise for every story we tell.
True.
So-
Or for every Dory you tell.
Oh, dude, you're making me crabby now. Don't
That'd be
become my
bad.
anemone.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I blame you for this, Dad.
Don't be
so-
shellfish. All right. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
All right. So, I can't believe that they tunneled out using a toothbrush and a metal. Was the metal object a shovel? Because
Yeah,
what?
probably. Rock
And
hammer.
also, what were the? Jeez, it's like a scene from Oz. So their freedom didn't last long. A tip led cops back to the tip led cops back to them as they dined at an IHOP about 15 minutes away. Here's the thing about where they were caught and what IHOP they were caught at. I have spent many a drunken college night at that IHOP. That very IHOP.
Yeah.
And I cannot tell you.
Was
how
I supposed to
awkward
know this?
Huh?
It's fine now.
Yeah, it's too late now.
By now?
I should have went to the Waffle House. There's lots of people there fighting.
It's been between 15 and 11 years or whatever since this happened. And yes, Mike, you're right. They would have fit right in at a Waffle House and they would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like nobody would have called them out. But this was an IHOP. Dad, you know exactly where the IHOP is on Newport News on Jefferson Avenue. Right by the old high school and the college.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. See? That's the one. So, as police are wont to do, They don't want to own up to their failures, but they do like to say this, and they'll spin it. The sheriff said it gives them the opportunity for engineers to, quote, review the building's weaknesses and research ways to address them. Maybe you should look into installing a better floor.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, are their walls made out of cake? Who else? How could you tell? Oh, there are so many questions.
Couldn't have been a maximum security prison. Like it's got to be a minimum security or something.
No, this is literally a city jail. It's a city jail, and it is not. It is so the opposite of it is micro. It's like a micro prison. Newport News, don't come after me, but you really need to work on this shit. There's a reason why my college's police were actual legit police to help out the Newport News police. I'm just saying. Anyways.
At times, I think he may have had better police than the Newport News. So
you are not wrong.
But they were busy.
All.
That's a busy town. that's
anywhere south of Mercury Boulevard is very busy.
Yeah, it's like Dodge City.
It's tough. Mike, if you ever want an example of the pinnacle of gentrification of a city,
okay, yeah,
Mercury Boulevard south towards the James River is very much crime laden and heavy and subsidized housing, and then north of Mercury is very different, and it is just one road between the two.
No tracks or anything, huh?
No. It is ridiculous. Just the tracks of my tears driving through it every day to high school.
Okay, yeah.
It's tough. Dad, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that.
Yeah, no, it's miserable. When your mother and I made the choice of sending you over there, it was send you under a tunnel and through over to Virginia Beach, which I didn't want you anywhere near Virginia Beach for obvious reasons. Especially your brother. And then, or send you over through one of the worst crime-ridden areas in the world. So,
And it wasn't getting any better because nobody was helping the area because it's ignored.
Yeah, always is.
It always is. It always is. But yeah. All right, Mike. Bring me a crime.
Driver tried to switch places with his dog on DUI stop in Colorado town. So, Springfield, Colorado, a 28-year-old driver found himself in the doghouse after he attempted to switch places with his pup when he got pulled over on suspicion of DUI on Saturday night in southeastern Colorado town.
You're supposed to blame your farts on the dog, not your DUI.
Yeah, even if you did have the dog driving, you're still getting arrested. Springfield Police Chief Clay Klipfel conducted a traffic stop on a driver who was going
Come again, what was his name?
Klipfel, I think. Klipfel. Conducted a traffic stop on a driver who was going 52 miles per hour in a 30 mile per hour zone at about 11:30 p.m. Saturday near West 7th Avenue and Main Street in the town of Springfield. So the driver attempted to switch places with his dog, which was in the passenger seat of the Dodge Challenger. Ooh, that's a fast car too, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
A process that Klipfel watched as he walked towards the car. I mean, that would be the best. The guy's getting arrested, but that would be so much fun to watch this idiot switch places with his dog.
At least make it fun, right? Make it fun.
Yeah. The suspect, who had clear signs of intoxication, according to the police, got out of the passenger side of the car and told the chief that he wasn't the one driving. When Klipfel asked whether he'd been drinking, the man tried to run away, police said. He only got 20 yards away, though.
Oh, God. Oh
my God, there was a man and woman in the back seat that were sober.
What?
And the car belonged to the woman. Like, how stupid can you be? This person's drunk. Their dog's driving.
So what you could say is when he was approached, the actual driver flees.
Yeah. So it looks like they were lost. They were driving from Los Alamos to Pueblo and got lost in Springfield. The driver was later found to have 2 active warrants out in Pueblo, according to Springfield police. He was medically cleared at the hospital and then booked into the Baca County Jail for the warrants and on suspicion of driving under the influence. Driving while ability impaired. I've never heard that. Driving under suspension, speeding, and resisting arrest.
Are we sure that this wasn't like a plot in The Simpsons? Because it's
I know, right?
Springfield.
And then they allowed the
Or-
people in the back seat to take the car and the pup home.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't like pull
impound.
the animal endangerment. They should have.
Yeah.
They probably should have, because
Yeah.
if you're sober and you let this guy drive and you think, haha, this would be funny, change spaces with the dog, you probably shouldn't be allowed to have a license. I don't care how sober you are. You're
I
an
agree.
idiot.
Absolutely agree.
Just
So yeah, that's the story.
Well, here's a guy. I looked up one. It says
Perfect.
man wearing ankle monitor robbed bank of $754, scrawling demand note on back of his own birth certificate.
Oh wow, that is next level. I've seen using receipts with your name on it.
Uh-huh.
Your birth certificate.
Here's one. Oklahoma man allegedly killed fishing partner over Bigfoot fears.
we did this one, Mike. We did this one.
Did you do
You
that one?
remember?
Vaguely,
We covered that. It was a good one. That was a good one.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Oh
geez.
my god.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? I've got another crime one I could do here.
Do it.
This is crazy. So, dramatic footage shows shootout between bus driver and passenger. Can you guess where this happened?
Between a bus driver and a passenger
Yeah.
in the parking lot of a middle school.
Well, I was thinking more of a region.
New York City. No.
Nope.
A region.
No.
Mississippi.
Right country.
Mississippi.
Right country.
Not Mississippi. No.
Oh. All right. So are we talking
Ugh.
South, Midwest, East?
You know, I actually don't know. Newly released surveillance footage shows a dramatic shootout between a North Carolina public bus driver and passenger while the bus was in motion.
What city is this? Does it say?
Yes, the shooting occurred on May 18th on a Charlotte area transit system bus after the passenger
checks
asked
out.
the driver to get off between stops near Steel Creek Premium Outlet Mall, the transportation agency said. So he just wanted to get off early, and the bus driver said no, and he started shooting.
I know exactly where that's at too.
During an approximately 2-minute exchange, the passenger, identified by authorities as 22-year-old Amari Sharif Tobias, say that 3 times fast, can be heard saying, I dare you to touch me. I'm going to pop your ass. You know, it's blanked out. In the footage released Friday by the transit agency, Tobias then walks away and can be seen pulling a firearm out of his jacket pocket as the 2 other passengers are visible seated on the bus before moving back towards the front door of the bus and turning to face the driver. The driver, identified by CATS, which is the Carolina, what was it again? Charlotte area transportation system. He was David Fullard, then pulls out his own firearm and both exchange rapid gunfire.
Okay, so like, can you imagine just being on a bus and somebody's like, "Hey, can I get off here?" And the bus driver just hits the brakes, like dad style. Is like,
Yeah.
absolutely the fuck not. Like, this is not Beverly Hillbillies. Like, you can't just. Why was he packing? I see there's no way that's in the dress code.
As the
no way.
Canadian here, JT, I have no idea why he's packing.
That is very true. I
Concealed
know
carry
I
is
should
illegal
not-
here, so I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Any carry is illegal. Any.
Well, yeah, you
Are
can't
we
carry a
back-
handgun. You can carry the handgun in a locked or locked case between your house and a gun range and back. So the driver then stopped the bus and left his seat as Tobias crawled his way towards the rear of the bus. The two bystander passengers had also quickly moved to the rear of the bus during the exchange of gunfire. The driver continued to fire his gun after the initial exchange, the video shows. While standing in the aisle, he fired towards the rear of the bus while Tobias was ducking for cover. And then they were able to open the door. Like, what the actual hell? Both men were struck by gunfire. The driver was hit in the arm and the passenger in the abdomen.
Did they hold hands in the ambulance on the way to the hospital?
One of the passengers was seen falling during the exchange, but he was unharmed. So must have just
good.
fell.
Yeah.
So I have to assume that someone's losing their job in this too.
And
I
maybe
can't
their
see
freedom.
you being allowed to just shoot a bus toward or shooting a bus towards other passengers and everything.
I mean, that would be attempted murder, attempted maybe second. I don't know.
They're not allowed to carry weapons while on the job, so I'm guessing he'll be fired, if not more.
Like, get a nightstick. Get one of those extendable things. Like, you don't need a gun.
You can't have that
You
here
just
either.
don't. Well, I know that. I know.
It sounds like you found another name for Operation Uranus. So
Thanks everybody for listening. You can subscribe, rate, and review. We appreciate that a lot. It really helps. Head to brewcrime.com. That's a great option too. Yeah, and you can follow Mike at Brew Crime and myself at JT Brews Crime on pretty much all the social medias, all the things.
Yes.
So thanks for tuning in, and I have been Jericho Tortuga.
And I've been Mike, and he was Jim. He'll be back, I'm sure. Bye.
I bet. Bye.
So make sure you behave or
Fuck around and find out.
And you might find yourself on next month's BrewVerie Report.
For all the sources for this episode of BrewVerie, head to BrewVerie True Crime Podcast or Brew Crime Podcast's feeds on your favorite podcast host. This has been a production of Brew Crime Podcast and BrewVerie True Crime.
Play
All
that
right.
sting. I don't know if I don't know if podcasting is an auditory medium, Father, not a visual. It's funny though.
All right.
Oh, jeez.
What do we want to move
Yes.
to now? Move to now.
Move.
Yeah.
Why not? Can we do something like health or something to that degree? All right. Well, I have a short one. You gotta stop. All right. Can you enable screen sharing real fast, Mike?
Yes, I think so. So asking the
Dad,
public
you
name.
gotta take the toe off the background.
Yeah, please.
Take the
So
toe.
gross.
Oh,
Off
take the
the
toe
background.
off the background. Oh, okay. It's really getting to you,
Listen,
huh?
I've been
I know.
hiding my
Mike
face
and
behind the
I-
microphone.
I
All right.
provide dogs to people in the hospital. I do the
Yeah.
very opposite.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. I'm hurrying. I'm hurrying.
right.
I'm taking it off. I'm taking it off.
Just put the behind you. Nobody's gonna see this video. Just take the behind you away.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
take
we're
the
only releasing
behind
audio.
me away. Oh, okay.
This
All
is
right.
only audio.
All right, where do we want to go now, JT?
Let's go to
The lobby? Let's go to the lobby.
Let's all go to the lobby.